Hi there, I'm Christian Henson from Spitfire Audio and really excited to show you my contextual demo for Orchestral Swarm. The point of these demonstrations is to show you how I would use them in context. The context for me is being a media composer and having to fart out a lot of music in very kind of short spaces of time. And this is where I'm particularly excited about Orchestral Swarm because it's particularly effective at this. It not only adds kind of all sorts of life and colour to your work, but also a whole load of kind of elegance and class. It's really, really beautifully orchestrated stuff. Very, very easy to use, as I'll demonstrate. So what I'm going to do is, as I've done before, is I'm going to do a boring old string cue, and I'm going to show you how Orchestral Swarm in minutes can bring that to life. I'm going to start with chamber strings flautando, which is my favourite sound we've ever made on my favourite string library. I love the detail of a chamber string library. Now, these were recorded in the hall at Air Studios, which is very reverberant, and Orchestral Swarm was recorded at British Grove. And that's, no concern. Many, many film scores will record at several different locations. What we do is just apply a liberal amount of, in this case, TC Electronics VSS3, the large warm hall, which is a real favourite of orchestral engineers. I'm just going to apply a liberal amount of that to the air material, so the flautandos, spiccatos, and then quite a lot of it to the British Grove to meld it all together. This is something I would come back to later and mix slightly more kind of finely, but I'm just going to show you a quickly slamming it out kind of demo. So let's run the click and start with the flautandos. Okay, let's quantize that because I always play woefully out of time. And then I'm just going to run in expression and modulation or dynamic control with this fader here. So there you can see the modulation or dynamic control and the expression to give it a bit more life. I'm just going to glue those together, treat them as one, and then just do a quick spiccato section at the end, again with the chamber strings. Little schnall bits at the end there, take that off, and great. Okay, so all I'm going to do is just copy this region down to, I've got two things set up. So I've got the low and high winds, both on the same MIDI channel, and I've got the slap stack mo and the clary whisper swarm, and I've just literally copied it down. I'm going to whack it up an octave. Let's have a listen to that together. Great stuff. I'm actually just going to delay that a bit because you can really hear the attack a little bit more than you can on the strings. So let me just whack that back, maybe 30. So I'm basically just going to duplicate this again for the these wonderful horns here, which is the staccatissimo swarm, and that's just a straight copy. Let's have a listen to that. Absolutely stunning stuff. And then I'm going to do the same for the brass bit, but I'm just going to do just the second half of that. So let's just mute that quickly and let's have a listen to that. So for this stationary bit, I just want to add a bit of kinetic energy. So I'm just going to take the scissors and have a little chopperata there. Literally copy that across and see how that comes up with these. We've got the Tenuto CS Tasto Swarm and Tenuto CS Swarm, and then on the pizzicatos, which is a really swarmy kind of sound, we've got a combo and pit swarm. So let's have a listen to that. So it adds a really beautiful kinetic energy. And then I'm just going to play this over the top to add a kind of flourish. Okay, it's a little bit too wet, that. A little bit too distant. Let's bring the volume up. Okay, might have to mix that in. But here we go for the spiccato section. Paul, in his wisdom, thought, well, you know, it's great that we've got all of these different things, but it's difficult to end a piece if you don't have the single notes, which is why we've also recorded staccatos so you can have a nice firm end. So for me, as a working composer, this not only makes my life happier, more inspiring, but to be able to add, you know, really classy orchestration in minutes is kind of like the golden goose, really. So what we've demonstrated here is you can add beautiful timbral coloration to kind of boring string patches. You can add a kinetic energy to a totally static phrase, and also flourishes to something that's kind of regimented and ostinato-y. So let's have a listen to that and run it down. Thanks as always for watching. If you like what we do, hit like, and if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe.